Welcome to Creepy, the best horror storyteller on YouTube.
Part 1.
I never thought I would end up in a cult. I was always a rational, skeptical, and independent person. I had a good job as a journalist, a nice apartment in New York, and a few close friends. I didn't need anything else to be happy. But then I met him. His name was Damien, and he was the most charismatic, mysterious, and attractive man I had ever seen. He approached me at a bar one night, and we instantly hit it off. He had a deep voice, piercing blue eyes, and a charming smile. He said he was a writer, and he invited me to his place to show me some of his work. I agreed, without hesitation. I was curious about him, and I felt a strong attraction that I couldn't resist. He lived in a penthouse in a fancy building with a stunning view of the city. He showed me his library, filled with books on philosophy, history, and occultism. He said he was fascinated by the hidden secrets of the world, and he wanted to share them with me. He took me to his bedroom, where he had a large painting on the wall. It was a dark and eerie scene, depicting a group of hooded figures standing around a fire under a black moon. He said it was his masterpiece, and he explained that it represented his vision of the ultimate truth. He said he was the leader of a secret society called the Cult of the Black Moon, and he wanted me to join him. He said the Cult of the Black Moon was a group of enlightened individuals who had discovered the true nature of reality and the power of the dark forces that ruled it. He said they worshipped the Black Moon, a cosmic entity that was the source of all evil and the key to all knowledge. He said they performed rituals and sacrifices to gain favor and wisdom from the Black Moon and to prepare for the day when it would rise and destroy the world. He said he loved me, and he wanted me to be his partner, his queen, his soulmate. He said he could show me things that no one else could, and he could make me feel things that no one else could. He said he could make me immortal, and he could make me his. He kissed me, and I felt a surge of passion and fear. He was so persuasive, so seductive, so convincing. He made me feel special, chosen, destined. He made me feel alive, and he made me feel afraid. I didn't know what to do. I was torn between my reason and my emotion, between my curiosity and my caution, between my attraction and my repulsion. I wanted to believe him, and I wanted to run away. I wanted to stay with him, and I wanted to escape. But I didn't have a choice. He had already made it for me. He had already marked me as his. He had already initiated me into his cult. He showed me a scar on his chest, shaped like a crescent moon. He said it was the sign of the Black Moon, and it was the mark of his devotion. He said he had given his blood to the Black Moon, and he had received its blessing. He said he was going to do the same for me. He took a knife from his bedside table, and he cut his palm. He pressed his bleeding hand to my chest, and he traced the shape of a crescent moon. He said it was a ritual, and it was a bond. He said it was a gift, and it was a curse. He said I was now his, and I was now theirs. He said I was now a member of the Cult of the Black Moon, and I could never leave. He said I was now a servant of the Black Moon, and I could never disobey. He smiled, and he kissed me again. He said he was happy, and he said I should be too. He said he was proud, and he said I should be too. He said he was ready, and he said I should be too. He said we were going to meet the others, and he said we were going to celebrate. He said we were going to perform a ritual, and he said we were going to sacrifice. He said we were going to summon the Black Moon, and he said we were going to witness its glory. He said we were going to die, and he said we were going to live. He said it was the beginning, and he said it was the end. He said it was the cult of the Black Moon, and he said it was the ultimate truth.
Part 2.
I wish I could say I resisted. I wish I could say I fought back. I wish I could say I escaped. But I didn't. I followed him like a lamb to the slaughter. I let him take me to his car and drive me to a remote location. I let him lead me to a dark and decrepit building where he said the cult had its headquarters. I let him introduce me to the other members, who greeted me with sinister smiles and eerie chants. I let him dress me in a black robe and put a hood over my head. I let him take me to a basement where he said the ritual was going to take place. I was scared, but I was also curious. I wanted to see what he was talking about. I wanted to see what the cult was doing. I wanted to see what the Black Moon was. I regretted it as soon as I saw it. The basement was a hellish scene filled with blood, fire, and horror. There was a large pentagram on the floor, surrounded by candles and skulls. There was a metal altar in the center where a naked and bound woman was lying, screaming and sobbing. There were dozens of cult members, all wearing black robes and hoods, holding knives and chanting. There was Damien, standing at the head of the altar, holding a book and a dagger. There was a window where the night sky was visible and where a black moon was rising. Damien saw me and smiled. He said he was glad I was there, and he said I was the guest of honor. He said he was going to sacrifice the woman, and he said I was going to witness it. He said he was going to offer her blood to the Black Moon, and he said I was going to receive its power. He said he was going to make me his queen, and he said I was going to rule with him. He said it was the night of the Black Moon, and he said it was the night of our destiny. He opened the book and began to read. He recited an ancient and arcane language that sounded like a curse. He raised the dagger and prepared to strike. He looked at me and winked. He said it was time, and he said it was now. He plunged the dagger into the woman's heart, and she let out a final scream. He lifted the dagger, and it was dripping with blood. He pointed the dagger at the window, and he shouted a word. He said it was done, and he said it was here. He was right. The window shattered, and a blast of cold air entered the room. The candles flickered, and the shadows danced. The cult members gasped, and the chanting stopped. The pentagram glowed, and the altar shook. The woman's body twitched, and the blood flowed. The Black Moon appeared, and it was terrifying. It was a huge, dark, and sinister sphere that filled the sky. It had a face that was twisted and malevolent. It had eyes that were red and glowing. It had a mouth that was wide and hungry. It had a voice that was loud and dreadful. It spoke, and it was angry. It said it was the Black Moon, and it said it was the Lord of Darkness. It said it was the master of the cult, and it said it was the enemy of the world. It said it was the bringer of chaos, and it said it was the destroyer of life. It said it was not pleased, and it said it was not satisfied. It said the sacrifice was not enough, and it said it wanted more. It said the blood was not pure, and it said it wanted better. It said the cult was not loyal, and it said it wanted faithful. It said it wanted me, and it said it wanted Damien. It reached out, and it grabbed us. It pulled us towards it, and it swallowed us. It consumed us, and it devoured us. It killed us, and it erased us. It was the end, and it was the beginning. It was the Black Moon, and it was the ultimate truth.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar horror stories.